Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Janet Yung. In my channel, I share about 八字, feng shui, entrepreneurship, as well as personal growth from the perspectives of leadership, motivation, and communication. In today's episode, I'll be sharing about feng shui. Why did I pick this topic? Well, recently I have quite a lot of clients who were requesting to find out if a new home was suitable for themselves as well as their family. So in this episode, I decided to share some simple tips when you are looking for a new home to see if it is suitable for yourself or your family members. When we talk about feng shui, we are really talking about earth luck. So there are three kinds of luck that we investigate in the art of Chinese metaphysics. The first one is what we call heaven luck. What is heaven luck, you may ask? Heaven luck is really about our natural and inborn personality and talents, the influences that will come into our life, and that's what we call 八字, which I shared in a 八字 series. If you would like to, please click on the link to go to the playlist where I've shared videos on the 八字 series. The next kind of luck is what we call earth luck. And earth luck is really about the surroundings that we stay in. So that can be our home as well as work. So the kind of environment that we work in, live and sleep in really actually affects us because it affects our mental thoughts, our calmness. Therefore, whether we rest well enough so that we can make the right kind of decisions, we enjoy our work as well as go back to a home that we feel comfortable in. So that's earth luck. The last kind of luck, which is what we call the mankind luck, is really about our background, our education, as well as our attitude and motivation. So in today's world, even if we have the best 八字, the best kind of feng shui, if you do not put in the right kind of effort and have the right attitude and motivation, you may not necessarily get anywhere in life. So that's basically what we call the three types of luck: the heaven luck, the earth luck, as well as the mankind luck. And in more than a decade of practice, I must let you know that the mankind luck, which is our attitude, motivation, and what we decide to do with self-awareness of our inherent talent as well as our surroundings, the kind of action that you will take makes a more significant influence in the outcome of what will result in our life experiences. So if you do like this particular episode so far, and you do like the series that I've been sharing on my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. Click on the like button if you have learned from this particular video, as well as click on the notifications bell so that you will receive a reminder whenever I upload new videos. Now, you may ask, there are so many different kinds of formulas that have been shared in the market when you search on Google on how you should be doing feng shui for your house. Yes, there are many different formulas, and different masters may utilize different formulas when looking actually at your home. So do not compare because it will get you even more confused. So in today's episode, when I look at basically which kind of home will be suitable for you, I'm really utilizing number one, land form. Number two, 8 mansions, either for the house or for the individuals. And number three, flying stars. So in this episode, I'll cover a little bit about land form. And you may ask, land form in Singapore, it's such a flat place. We don't even have a mountain. Well, there's something that we call city land form. Now, when we look at feng shui, it's really about the wind and water, right? So when there is actually huge movement, there will be energy movement. Just like a car drive past, you can actually feel the wind that it actually brings to you. So that's what we are looking at. So I will be using Google Earth to help you look at the landform of a potential new home for yourself or your family members. Let's take a look at the next segment. So when we look at landform feng shui, basically what are we really looking at? We are studying the physical environment that's surrounding us, surrounding our new home. We can look at the mountains, we can look at the river flows. What do we look at when we are looking at the city itself? In city, basically we are looking at the roads, the flow of traffic, okay, whether there's a garden next to us, whether it's a tall building next to us, do we walk out of our house looking into a tall building, or is our home situated at the end of a stretch of road or in the middle of a cross junction? So that's basically what it is when we're looking at city landform. Now when we are looking at a home, most of the time what we'll like to look for is a optimum configuration. Now what does it mean? It basically means the left of the home when you're facing out should be a green dragon. So what does a green dragon mean? A green dragon means maybe the buildings should be taller on the left hand side. Why should it be taller on the left hand side? Because traditionally the east of the dragon represents the man of the home. Therefore, if you want them to have a little bit more authority and leadership, the left of the home should be a bit higher. What about the right? The right is what we call the tiger. Usually in olden days, they would prefer the right side of the home not to be taller than the left side, mainly because they are worried that the men of the family may have a stronger power over the men. But I think in today's world, I'll leave it to the couple to decide which is better for them. Now the other thing that is actually critical is the back of your home should be taller, what they call tortoise, so that it should be higher ground or at least a taller building, and the front should be a bright hall with a garden as well as something that is flat, and maybe in the distance if you can, what would they call the phoenix, such that in a formation perspective it is like an armchair where you actually have got energy collected in front of you because you have left and right a little bit higher with something that is taller but in a longer distance, so that you can collect it like basin. If you look at feng shui, it's really about energy flow. Now you can imagine that from probably the perspective of water flow. Let's take a look at the water tap. If you turn on the tap really with full power, water will be flowing out very straight. So when you actually try and grab water within your hands, water will be splattering out everywhere, right? So that's one of the reasons why usually when we try and stay in a home, it should be with a meandering flow. So what does that mean? It means a slowing down of the flow. So same scenario when we look at water tap. You turn down the flow of water in the tap. Now you can basically collect water in your palms. So the concept then of these left dragon, right tiger, the back higher and the front a little bit with phoenix or a small hump, it's the same. It's trying to collect energy or flow within so that you can basically receive it in a most harmonious way. So you may be asking, but we're living in a city, so sometimes it's difficult to look for rivers and mountains and all those. What do we look for? In cities, we usually observe what we call city landform feng shui, and one of the key things we need to look at is whether there are sharp, pointy objects which we call killing energy or sa qi in Mandarin, to see whether does these make into a serious issue for us when we're staying in the home. Now in the pictures that has been shown, you will see satellites because it creates wavelengths that during the transmission that can cause disruption to the energy within our surrounding. Sharp pointy objects, whether is it a cross, is it the sharp pointy roof of homes. The other thing that we need to watch out for is electrical cables and electrical poles that may be just directly opposite our main door if you are staying in a landed property, or whether your home, if you have the electrical cables actually outside of your home, that may impact what you feel, how you feel. And if you would like to actually confirm this, and I've confirmed this a couple of times, you take your normal magnetic compass, okay, whether it's from the phone or any compass, you move it nearer to any of these kind of electrical wavelengths, it will basically not be accurate. So that's what I'm trying to say, that when you're choosing a home, it's good if you are not able to see or it's not too near some of these what we call killing or poison arrows. Let's basically take a look at Google Earth, like I promised you a little earlier, on how we can use it to generally check out the landforms of the new homes that you would like to purchase. So here is Clementi area in Singapore, and you notice that I can shift it around. I can turn it in 360 degrees to look at basically the area of the new home that I want to look at. So let's say I want to check out the feng shui of these few blocks of flats in terms of landform. What does it face? Is there any potential obstacles? So when I look at these particular area and just basically circle around, I can see that generally these few blocks are actually looking at the sea in the longer distance, which is pretty good. And if I were to make 360 degrees round, I can also see that the blocks have mountains. I'm going to shift this a little to the center. The mountains actually nearer at the back, supported by the mountains coming from Malaysia, as well as Bukit Timah Reserve. So therefore, from a landform perspective, this particular few blocks that we are looking at is not bad if you want to consider for your new home. Now, let's then maybe search for a new location. Let's look at an area near the Bukit Timah Hill, because Bukit Timah Hill actually has got the satellites, so it can be an issue for some of the homes there. So you notice that when you first type in the area, Google Earth already give you a 360-degree feel of the place. When you want to basically just stop, you just click on the screen. And let's take a look. I have done some feng shui reviews for some of these houses that are in these areas. Now, what happened was actually the house was facing, if you notice, these satellites over here. So one of the key problems was that the house owner, because they were seeing these satellites too close, especially from their children's window, and when they did renovation in the wrong sector of the home, there were quite a few misfortunes that happened to the family. When we are choosing homes, therefore, just like I mentioned a little earlier, when we're looking at actually these kind of satellites, we have to be a little bit careful such that we are not too near. So like these few blocks of condos that are a bit too near to them may not be great as well. Now let's take a look at a different location. Right now we are in Malaysia on Google Earth. So I'm actually checking out the landform of these buildings here. As you can see, these few buildings here, they are facing mountains in the distance. And if we were to circle and look at it, generally, whether there are mountains behind. No, there are no mountains behind. But in other words, if let's say the building is actually facing more towards this side where it's lower land and you have the mountains supporting you behind, therefore you will generally have pretty good feng shui from a landform perspective. So right now, I've already shown you how you can basically utilize Google Earth to check out the landforms of the potential new home that you're looking at. I hope you have enjoyed this particular episode. And if you do like this particular video, please give a like, subscribe to my channel, and click on the notifications bell so that you can receive a reminder whenever I upload new videos. I'll see you next week where I will be sharing with you utilizing the 8 mentions formula to basically check out whether a home is suitable for you. See you next week and goodbye.